Welcome back to Privy. Privy is a podcast about bathrooms, recorded from my home bathroom. I'm your host, Hunter Hoover, and I love bathrooms. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for being here. And the air is changing. I was outside with my son this afternoon, and I noted that the leaves are already beginning to change color. And I'm here to tell you, I'm very thankful that summer and as much fun as it was, Privy summer is over. It's time for some cooler weather. No more milk sweats in the middle of the summer heat. We're going to dunk our Oreos and eat pancakes and eat baked goods and just really fully embrace the fall lifestyle. Pumpkin spice is around the corner, and those who know me know that I am all eyes on Wendy's to see if that pumpkin spice Frosty comes back. That sweet, sweet frozen delight. Got to get it. I am just an absolute basic white lady when it comes to pumpkin spice, and that's okay. This week on Privy, we're going to revisit something that we have talked about a few times on the show, but we got to come at it from a different angle. You know, we got to get that angle. Because in the past, we have discussed urine, and boy, have we discussed it. We've discussed historical uses of urine, gunpowder. We've looked at how the ancient Egyptians used urine, putting it in your eyeball, and we've looked at just some history of, like, with the piss prophets and all we can learn from how urine was viewed as this like magic substance that could tell us something about the body. We had some wild and randy dudes running around at that time. Earlier in our last episode, I shared my journey of getting a vasectomy. And so if you've not listened to Vasectomies Part 2, go listen to that. You're going to want to seek that out. I probably share way too much. And if anything, this podcast exists for some honesty. So there you have it. I'm open to questions. But it also highlighted in that some of my interactions with the urology department at the hospital. Our urine is actually kind of amazing. Our urine, though, is only a surface level, or perhaps a drop in the bucket, of what is dealt with in the field of urology, which turns out to be a much more intricate and important body system and area of study. Today, we're going to kick off the month of September, which is Urology Awareness Month, by taking a look at the history and scope of urology and the history and the purpose and the founding of the Urology Foundation. But before we talk about the foundation, into history we go. As it's been noted, throughout history, both in the time of where the body was understood and they tried to explain the things that go on in the body and could be wrong with the body by way of discussing humors, all the way up until a time of more modern health understanding, germ theory, and other beliefs, it was understood that there is some sort of connection between the things that are going on inside our bodies and that golden stream of urine that we produce. Some of the earliest urological procedures were circumcisions. Might not think of it as a urological procedure, but it is. And if you don't know what circumcision is, you cut the wee hat. And it is also recognized that there were bladder and kidney stones that were collected or extracted throughout ancient history and in the medieval and coming out of the medieval period. And while there have been some attempts to have a more grounded and better understanding of urine and its relationship to overall health, there is, for much of human history, there was not a specific study to look at the very, very detailed problems related to the urinary tract and reproductive systems of humans. In short, for centuries, urology was kind of like a rough guess where a person comes in with health concerns and then you observe the urine. Based on trial and error, smell of the urine, the color of the urine, and yes, as we have discussed in the past, there were times where even the quote-unquote flavor of the urine was evaluated. Now, this is very, very bad. Even in a world where things make a lot of sense, which they don't regularly, if you had a person who was ill, they're sick, they have a medical condition, and you're trying to figure out the relationship between the medical condition and their urine, why would part of the diagnosis then be, you know what, I'm going to put any fluid that comes out of that sick person into my body, let alone my mouth, and let alone a fluid that comes out of the bottom half of them? Like, big no, very, very big no. But yes, they were at times conducting research on the urine by taking a taste test and seeing if they could come up with some properties of the urine related to their medical condition. And through a time of trial and error, they began to try to diagnose people based on their urine. At this time, there were doctors who would focus on some areas of concern, but the field of urology, the study of the human reproductive system and the human urinary tract system, was mostly undefined. Like, there was understanding that it existed, but there wasn't a lot of specialty or expertise in the area until the end of the 80s. The end of the 80s, French surgeon and, in due time, urologist Jean Casimir Felix Guyon. Now, if you couldn't tell from the name, Jean with a J. We have made it back to France. Anytime we talk about pee or peeing or filthy water or urinating or urinals or urine, we're talking about France. It really puts the wee in wee monsieur, if you know what I'm saying. But Guyon, I'm probably saying his name wrong too. It's probably like, you're probably like gagging on the like pre-nasal clump of boogers. Speaking of wet, nobody was. Gotta get that. But Guyon studied medicine in Paris. And there, Guyon's in Paris, he served as a doctor and surgeon for around 30 years. And in 1890, he became the professor of genitourinary surgery. For the layman, urology. So, genitals and urinary, the wee monsieur we talked about previously, he became the professor of these things. So that's kind of cool. And as professor, he focused study on urology, and as a result, and in time, the study of urology and the focus on it as a specific branch of medical science grew. In time, Guyon, along with urologists from the United States and South America, established the International Association of Urology. Now, what we've learned here on Preview, there's all sorts. There's American Bathroom Association. There's an associate. If there is a thing that exists, what we've learned is there's an association that goes along with it. There's probably an American Association of Shaz in Your Pants Royale. If there is, we'll cover it one day. And Guyon did a lot to pave the way for urology as a field of study and a field of practice. Guyon is also credited with discovering the ulnar canal in the wrist. It's somewhere in here because this is my wrist. But when the ulnar canal gets compressed, this is often called Guyon's tunnel syndrome today. So if you ever have, I think it's like corporal tunnel, but it's like a different one of them, and they named it after Guyon. Anyway, if you have Guyon's tunnel syndrome, this is the guy's name now. It's probably like Guyon or something like that. I don't know. Who knows? Nobody can possibly know. Along with the study of urology, the development of urology as a practice is directly connected to the advancement of technology and the progression and the actual development of the instruments used in performing much of the research and investigation involved in urology. To be able to see into the body without cutting it open or through less invasive openings is a field known as endoscopy. Endoscopy is named as such because it uses a thing called an endoscope. Now, the way you can remember what an endoscope is it's a scope that is like a thing that you use to look through, telescope, microscope, but an endoscope lets you look into the ends or openings of things including the mouth, the nose, the ears, the butthole. And it turns out, breaking news, men and women have other openings that I did not just list. There are other opening options besides the mouth, ears, nose, and butthole. The endoscope can and has been used to inspect the urethra. For those at home, the pee-pee hole. And one pioneer of endoscopy, as it relates specifically to the field of urology, was Philip Bazzini. Now, if I had to guess, and this is, I guess, some bias showing, I don't know. I went to a training on bias today, so I know what that is. I would have guessed that Mr. Bazzini was like Italian, but I think he's German. But Philip Bazzini developed a rough and, first of all, dear Lord, nothing that goes into any crevice of my body ought to be described as rough. Now, I want to note, they do not mean rough as in sandpaper rough. They mean rough as in like it's crudely designed. But I don't like the idea of a rough anything going into any hole that I have. Don't clip that. But he developed a rough endoscope that he called the Lichtleiter, or the light conductor. This Lichtleiter was a device, it's probably like Lichtleiter, I don't know. I don't speak not English American. Like, I'm sorry. Call me what you will. But this was a device that relied on a series of mirrors to reflect and enlarge an image, and lenses to do so, and the use of a candle for light to see into a person's body. Now, it was a good idea. I don't know how I feel about the candle being used here. Fire being involved with any hole on my body, again, just like the rough conversation, fire plus rough plus booty hole or pee-pee hole or ear hole, and really any hole. Pick a hole. It seems bad. Like, it seems like we must just keep those things separate. Now, Bazzini had a good idea. Like, he did. This idea was good. The problem is his idea was too soon for where we were in advancements in other technology. Because that flame, one day we're going to figure out how to make our own like light, and it won't involve hot fire being near any hole. And so, after Bazzini, major strides in endoscopy were kind of small. And as a result, they had very little luck with small holes. You know what I'm saying? Seeing down the narrow tube of the urethra has proven difficult and inconclusive up to this point. They remained that way until the development of the Hopkins rod lens system in endoscopes, which was developed in the mid-1950s. Now, the Hopkins rod lens system provides a safer, more comfortable, more sanitary method of seeing up into the urinary tract. Later developments in fiber optics allowed them to essentially take video of the wiener canal, really scope it out. Endoscopy really has produced much of modern urology to the extent that they called endoscopies into the upper urinary tract through the urethra uteroscopy. Help me, Father. I don't care how far technology's come. If someone is running a camera tube up that hole, I have gone astray in some way, or I am in dire need of medical help. I assume that if there's a person that gets to the point where they're like, yeah, doc, scope me out, brother, that they're not doing well, like they don't feel good, and things have called for the scope. In short, a uteroscopy or a cystoscopy, which is like a different level of, I think, invasiveness of a urinary tract not infection, dear Lord help us, a urinary tract endoscopy, but both of them hitch a ride through the SS urethra tube. And they're used to further diagnose common urological concerns. Much like a colonoscopy, which is performed to determine whether or not further treatment is needed, it also can help remove blockages and polyps. Now, for some reason, like, I know polyps are bad no matter where they're at. But like, in my brain, having a polyp in your colon seems less awful than having a polyp in your pee-pee tube. That seems less bad. I think it's because bigger stuff comes out of the other one. Either way, it's no fun. I digress. But the images that they view during endoscopies can help determine ongoing or suspected problems. They can help determine what treatment is needed if things need to be removed. In modern urology as a study and procedure, it focuses on the disease and concerns related to kidneys, as well as reproductive health and concerns. These measures include vasectomies, club vas, we're out here, erectile dysfunction, you know what I'm saying, and further understanding of the relationships of our urinary system and our kidneys and our filtration system with the rest of our body. Now, I want to note, this is a very surface level, non-medical person's view of urology. I'm not a doctor. It's been a while since I've reminded y'all of this here on Privy. And I know that for a second I had you fooled. You were thinking, man, when this guy pronounced Guion wrong and when he called it the pee-pee hole for the third time, I was actually convinced that he might be a medical doctor. I'm not. Surprise. I'm not a medical doctor. If you're having concerns and you've come to this show for medical advice, go away. Keep listening. We love you here. But go talk to your doctor, for goodness sakes. It's not me. I'm just trying to provide information about a thing that is loosely related to the bathroom, because that's what we do here on Privy. Urine, bathroom. Get it? Urology. Urine, it's all connected. But this is a very surface level view of urology and what urology is. And that's fitting because September, as I stated, is Urology Awareness Month. The history of Urology Awareness Month is wrapped up in the existence of the Urology Foundation, or TUF, T-U-F for short, the Urology Foundation. The Urology Foundation was founded in 1995 by Roger Kirby and John Fitzpatrick, and they founded the Urology Foundation for the purpose of preventing, treating, and helping cure urological diseases. The Urology Foundation is a non-profit charity that improves the knowledge and skills of surgeons who work on the urinary tract system. Now, the Urology Foundation was originally founded as the British, you gotta get your teeth all, sorry Brits. I know there's a few of you out there. I love you. It was a joke. I'm sorry. Please don't send your person after me and arrest me for what I have said. Hollow threat, brother. But the British, it was originally founded as the British Urological Foundation. And they helped in placement and helped place medical students who were studying this field, helped them placed into programs and into hospitals that needed help in urology and needed more people working in the field. It also helped with the training and schooling of prospective urology students and doctors. And they've contributed to the study and fight of prostate and testicular cancer. And one of the big acts of awareness and fundraising for the Urology Foundation is Urology Awareness Month. Here we are. If you're listening to this episode on the day it comes out, we're but 5 days into Urology Awareness Month. I hope that you are more aware of urology than you were 20 minutes ago when you began listening to this episode. Here we are. Urology Awareness Month is in its 10th year, which is baffling, and maybe a little more marketing is needed. Urology Foundation, consider this a free awareness plug. In the last 5 years, much of the work of the Urology Foundation has centered on understanding and destigmatizing prostate cancers and other cancers of the urological tract infection, as well as removing stigma related to getting your prostate checked. The old gloved finger yoink. One day. I'm not old enough for the check yet. At least I'm telling myself that. If I go into my doctor and they pull a fast one, they're like, actually, you could probably get it done. I don't know about that. All I can say is it'd be a shame if I accidentally recorded something. It'd be a gosh darn shame. I guess stay tuned. I don't know. But the Urology Foundation states that to help them raise awareness in the month of September, you can dress in blue. You wear blue. Blue represents apparently urology awareness. Wear blue. Apparently blue is for urine. I would have picked yellow, but that's just me. Encouraging, I guess that's like cancer or breast cancer. No, pink's breast cancer. What's the yellow one? Yellow's like cancer awareness or something. I don't know. All these colors, they all have something. Apparently blue represents urology awareness. Encourage friends and family to join in. Tell them about it. Create a blue themed day at work. Never seen this happen. Again, I'm not saying that it shouldn't happen. I guess being aware of urology is good. I've just never seen it happen. And so I'm wondering how effective this is. I mean, all this stuff is real. Like, this is a real thing. And they say you can host a fun run, organize a charity run or walk in your community to help raise funds and awareness for urology research. They say that you can share about Urology Awareness Month on social media. They have a hashtag. There's personal stories. I guess I kind of did that in August. Sorry, guys, but I shared my little adventure into urology a couple weeks ago. Go check that out. Resources awareness. You can use hashtags like, quote, you know me. I'm not a big fan. I use the hashtags, but I don't like to say them because I sound like an absolute flippin' dweeb. But they say you can use hashtag Urology Awareness Month, clever one there, to reach a wider audience and help connect and encourage people to share stories and support the cause. Or, in some cases, you can make a podcast episode telling people about Urology Awareness Month. That's going to do it for our brief venture into urology and the history of urology and the history of Urology Awareness Month and the Urology Foundation. As always, here on Privy, we would love for you to leave us a rating and review. It takes but seconds. You go to your podcatcher, Apple or Spotify both have ratings and reviews. 5-star options are preferred, and every rating and review you leave, we will donate $1 to the Wounded Warriors and Living Water International, reminding you to keep pooping in the free world. That free world was not always free, and we need to give back to those who helped it be. And as a reminder that there are parts of this world that are less free, and they do not have clean water yet, and pursuing cleaner water for all. A kickback as a thank you for leaving us a rating and review. Share the show with a friend. Say, hey, it's Urology Awareness Month, and I found this guy who sits on a toilet. You can't see it, but there she blows. It's real. It's not, when I say it in the bathroom, I'm here. I promise. This is my home bathroom. It's real, folks. But you can say, hey, check this guy. He's talking about urology, probably for too long. Share the show. Go check out the Urology Foundations and wear blue this month for urology awareness. Do that. Check out our website, privy-cast.com. You can find all our links there and episodes and past episodes and all sorts of stuff. Follow us on social media. We're at Privycast. You can follow me, Hunter. I'm at Owlet7. And you can follow Randy Bowles at Randy Bowles if you're not afraid of a really, really juicy bowl. Send us an email, privycast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Episode suggestions, comments, concerns, feedback. Do you want to tell me about urology? Do you want to tell me about your vasectomy story? Careful with the pictures on these ones, folks. Would love to hear from you. Privycast@gmail.com. Send those in. As always, we want to thank Kevin MacLeod and Podington Bear for the use of their music this week. You can check out their music in the description below. Thanks, Kevin and Podington. One last note I want to share with you. Something that I have been working on is we have a number of stickers that promote and are related to things that I've said and the other people have said on this show. And I'm going to be endeavoring to try out a small, limited, released little sticker shop via Google Forms. So it'll be in the thing below, but you can go check it out on our website. And if you are interested in ordering some Privycast stickers, feel free to do so. And just to let you know, the payment will be processing through Venmo. That's how I've chosen to do this, to try to cut out some of these other third parties that take a little bit. And those funds are going to go directly to helping support Wounded Warriors and Living Water. As we have reviews come in, it helps us send that money out. And it also goes to helping do new things and get new equipment. These little covers, you got to replace these every now and then. So go check out the sticker store. We'd love for that. I hope you enjoy them. Anyway, we're rambling. This brings us to end of another episode of Privy. Thank you so much for being here. Keep pooping in the free world. Own your stank. Don't forget to flush. Tell somebody about urology. And now, as always, don't forget to flush.